Hey, welcome to Waterfed Wednesday. If this is your first time here, this is where we like to go beyond the bucket and dive into the world of waterfed cleaning, answer questions about our equipment, our business, and our goal of helping cleaners worldwide get the job done faster, safer, and better. I'm Alex Brunner, and I'm your host for today's episode of Waterfed Wednesday. As you notice, Sean is not in office with me, so look forward to chatting with you live and see if we can help with perhaps some issues you may be facing with waterfed cleaning, especially if this is the first time getting into it. So yeah, just a couple of reminders as the audience uh, builds here. I want to let you know about our YouTube channel, our Facebook channels. That's where you can check out our previous episodes of Waterfed Wednesday. So, Facebook business page, we have those there. That's Tucker dash slash RHG Window and Solar Cleaning Group. And our YouTube channel is Tucker USA. So, definitely get a check those out and get a refresher course of water fed technology. We've got some great topics that we've have discussed. So if you're joining in, let us know where you're watching from. Let us know if you're starting to feel that that pressure of spring window cleaning season. Are you slammed with work? Just a reminder, we are celebrating our new website that has gone went up on the 1st of April. So all month long, we have a 15% discount. So at checkout, use the coupon code Tucker 2024, all together, no space, to get that discount. So as mentioned, if you are new to the world of waterfed, or perhaps you've given waterfed a shot before and weren't pleased with the results, maybe you had some issues with spotting. So that is what today's topic is. Episode 6, why do I have spots? So our discussion in this week's episode is focused on identifying the causes of spotting. If we have time afterwards, we might hit up some more frequently asked questions, or if you have questions, uh, feel free to chime in as well. So, the question, why do I have water spots? So, before we dive into the subject, this isn't a question on whether a system is producing pure water or not. We'll just already assume that this has been verified and confirmed, that the system is making pure water. So that's meaning 10 parts per million or less on your TDS meter. If you have some issues trying to troubleshoot your filters, go ahead and check out episode 4, where it was entitled "Are You Ready for the Season?" and we went into the topic of filtration. So this is already established. We got pure water. What is causing spotting? Before we get into the questions, let's check in with everyone that's chiming in here. We got Pristine Window Cleaning on Instagram. They're in Surprise, Arizona. Uh, Name is Jason on Instagram, Arkansas, 84 degrees. Our good friend Paul Gaston over on Facebook group, Springfield, Missouri. So thanks for checking in. So how's the season going? Is it going great? Let us know. All right, going back. So what are some issues or that could cause the water spotting? Remember, we already established you got pure water. So let's talk about glass surface. Um, Many are not aware of glass surface, especially if you've been cleaning, say traditionally. You would normally use an applicator, scrubber to wet the glass, and you're squeezing off that water. With water fed, it could be a little different. So the glass surface will typically either be what's called hydrophilic or hydrophobic, and sometimes it can be a mixture of the two. So these words both are derived from Greek words. So what is hydrophilic glass? It means water friendly or water loving. So visually, you can see as you rinse, the water would just sheet down the glass, This is water fed users' dream. So whether you're a fan of using pencil jets or a rinse bar, typically these are the easiest types of glass surfaces to clean on, and with the proper technique will dry spot free. So what about hydrophobic glass? Well, that word means water fearing or water hating. Typically, a cleaner will hate these surfaces, especially when using two pencil jetted brush. Now, why is that? Well, the water will not sheet down over the glass. What you'll see is you'll see spotting. It'll typically spot up real quick, or sometimes people will call it'll form rivers or streams, and the water will bead and just run down the glass. And that's where you have your issues with the hydrophobic glass. I obviously don't have a window here, so I'll try to explain this as best I can visually. Let's let's pretend this is the window, the glass, and with that, if this was a hydrophilic, you would typically wet the surface with here's you're using a brush, and this water would just sheet down, and oftentimes cleaners will just go like this, maybe spread apart their rinsing. Now, if you were doing this with a hydrophobic and you did the same pattern and skipped a whole portion of the glass, really you're only rinsing here to here to here. And all these little beads that are in between, that's actually hasn't been properly rinsed. And so if there's any still dirt in that water droplets, it's going to dry with spotting. So that's typically where you'll see with the glass surface of hydrophobic uh, the spotting issues. And as I mentioned before, some glass you might have, say, a double hung. You got your top portion of the glass that seems to be sheet down perfectly, no issues there. A lot of times that it's that lower pane that we see is an issue. Um, Often there you might have a screen that covers that portion, and over time that screen mesh material might transfer over uh, some of that material, or if it was cleaned with a special type of cleaner, that'll transfer over to that glass, and then you'll see that hydrophobic portion. So a lot of times I'll talk with guys and they'll say, "Hey, the top looks great. It's that bottom portion that I'm having issues with. Can you help out?" And that's what typically causes that. All right, just checking in on these messages. Back to name is Jason on Instagram. Paint runs from frames was my number one problem. That's another topic, part of the topic that we'll talk about here in a little bit. We'll go over that. Uh, South, let's see, SWCC Retail on Insta. They're checking in from Scottsdale. I think I'm heading over on vacation in July up somewhere around there. I'll have to check in with you. Paul, great weather and good business. We love hearing that. Absolutely. All right, let's check back over here on my topics here. So touching on what was brought up, paint could be a factor. Um, Paint run actually. So the issues I would see what might be construed as paint, frame oxidation, whether it's vinyl frames, painted metal frames. Over time, the sun will cause oxidation, and that will lead to spotting. So, how can you tell if the frames are oxidized? So, simply, if you're going to go up to a window, you're just going to touch the frame, go around the edge. If you look at your fingertip, it's covered in chalky residue, you have a problem with oxidation. And this is one of the things I ran into when I first got into water fed cleaning. Was a traditional cleaner for a long time, not aware of this issue, and I I know several of them where I was doing exterior only cleaning, and the feedback from the customer after they came back home was, "Hey, I thought you cleaned my windows. Can you come check it out?" And from what I could tell, I was leaving them spot free. But as I looked through from the inside out, you see this white uh, droplets everywhere. And what the problem was, I was not properly scrubbing the frames. So if frames aren't properly scrubbed and you just let that white residue go over the windows and you go on to the next, what's going to end up happening? They're going to dry with that that oxidation over the glass surface. So what can help reduce that or help eliminate that? Just doing what I call going to the basics of window cleaning, scrubbing your frames really well. And if I would have a new person, I would tell them to scrub on that top frame as well. And that way, once you stop seeing that milky residue rolling off the glass, you know that you scrubbed off that oxidation, and then you can proceed with um, cleaning the surface as normal. All right. See if I missed anything there. Looks like that is good. What about commercial glass? Have you had any problems with commercial glass? It's one of the common areas where we see spotting. And this is typically because due to the gasket that is around the glass. And what ends up happening is that maybe from previous cleanings, or there's just a built up amount of dirt underneath those gaskets. What could happen is if you just go to clean the glass surface real quick, you're touching that the frames and also the you're flooding those gaskets with that pure water. It's going to retain that water and it'll come out slowly over time. So basically what you have to do is, especially on the top, what I would recommend is um cleaning that top portion. You're gonna rinse. No, you're gonna get water up there. Let that top dry. Maybe you're gonna do several rows of commercial glass. Do the top sections. Let those dry. Go back and do the rest of the glass surface, and being mindful not to touch the top of the frame. That way, you don't want to reintroduce water in there, and once again, it'll drip over time. Uh, just checking in the commercials here, or excuse me, the messages. Midwest Surface, checking in from East Central Indiana, just ramping up residential bookings. That's good to hear. It's great time. Uh, I know I lived up in Indiana, so weather's starting to get nice up there. Um, Good to hear your business is taking off. And you also added, did I miss the remedy on water spots on the hydrophobic glass? Yeah, so sorry about that. Maybe I didn't go over that quite well. Um, so yeah, you wouldn't, if you're on the glass surface, you don't want to do the same kind of method with hydrophilic where you do this. You'll have to shorten up your rinsing pattern. So if you're using a pencil jetted brush, you are going to have to make sure you're not going too far down, um, and just shorten up your rinse depth. What I find helpful, I'll grab our Glide brush, Alpha Edition here, and what I really like doing is using the rinse bars. So rinse bars are a great way of avoiding or help mitigate the hydrophobic tendencies. As you rinse down, it provides that nice sheet of water as you go down. So it'll turn hydrophobic into hydrophilic essentially while you're rinsing. And that will help prevent spotting from hydrophobic glass. I know with the rinse bar, some guys might not like it, or maybe they have employees that say they don't like it. And what we typically find is that people still want to use the alpha brush, excuse me, as a traditional brush, and just go to the top and do the same kind of things, and maybe it overshoots and introducing that pure water into other areas that's causing spotting as well. So I like to utilize the swivel gooseneck on this. So as you do that, it's almost like you're using a squeegee and fanning down the window. So that helps, in my opinion, with working with hydrophobic glass. Good question on the what could cause. You have another question. What would cause me to have excellent pressure from the pencil jets, but weak pressure from the rinse bar? It all. Maybe you can chime in on what you're doing. Are you hooking up directly to a customer's water source? Often, what we'll see is that really, especially if you only have a two. I don't know if you have two pencil jets or four. It requires less water to go through the pencil jets. So rinse bars do require a little more water, water pressure, and so that might be an issue there. So it could be an issue just not having enough water pressure from your water source. But once you do, I know I like to use this in conjunction when I was cleaning, having the fill and go, which obviously it has it puts pure water into a tank and then it draws from the tank with a delivery pump. So I always had consistent uh, water pressure. Paul, paint leaching from vinyl siding. Yes, that's another one. Let's just go ahead and bump this up. Um, you also be mindful of when you are using your water fed brush. So whether it's the typically we'll see this with the jets. Somebody might pull off the glass, get a little carried away with how they're um, spraying or rinsing, excuse me, and allow that water to hit the surface around it, and that might leach onto the glass. If you have stucco, rock facade, that could bounce back, splash back onto your glass surface. That's why I also don't like to have too much water pressure, where it's too strong of a stream and it could cause that splashback. Uh, let's see. So it sounds like you have a 25-foot garden hose from the customer's water to the system. Is that too much? No. I guess it would be good to know, do you have, like a pressure gauge on your system? What you often find, you might have enough pressure, say you go to a house that has like 40, 45 PSI, and then no, it's certainly fine for jets, but the rinse bar will be a little low on that. All right. Let's take a look. Uh, Existing conditions. So another issue that will be causing you not to get that spot for your rinse um, is let's see, hard water stains. And maybe you weren't paying attention as through your walkthrough, but oftentimes what you're going to see, especially on the lower level, you will have a customer's sprinkler system constantly spraying water onto the windows, and over time, those minerals will stay on the glass and will actually etch the surface of the glass. And I think sometimes there's some confusion with someone that gets into water fed. They hear about the water purification, how it removes water minerals from the water, and they assume that it's also talking about the minerals that are already on the glass that have etched the glass, and that's unfortunately not the case. That is a different level of cleaning. It's called restoration cleaning or restorative cleaning. If you haven't checked that out, give that a shot. That's a great way of making additional source of income. So take a look at that. But once it starts etching into the glass, there's really nothing that you can do about it with just standard cleaning methods. So there's a lot of cleaning systems out there that require extra work, that can get that off. Um, Sorry, checking in. Let's see. Yeah, hopefully that helps you out. Midwest Surface, get you maybe get you feedback on your system. Make sure it's kind of chiming in on the filter thing, but uh, if it's been a while since you have changed your pre filters over time, those can get blocked up and maybe you see a reduced in pressure. So um, check that out. All right, going back to my notes here. Also, with those existing conditions, what I found uh, often you're coming up to you know clean up maybe the homeowner's efforts of cleaning their own windows, and I have had several customers that had attempted to clean their own windows utilizing um, whether it's those Windex systems that they attach to their hose, and they're essentially using that hard water. They might have severe hard water, and it's starting to etch. Also, around here, what's popular in many areas, having a facade, stone facade around the windows, and as it rains, it's constantly having that rock surface material transfer onto the glass, um, and basically over time that will cause etching in the glass too. Another great question. If you aren't using soap to clean, how is the glass getting clean? What would be your response to that? So I would explain to them that it's, yeah, you have your purification system that eliminates um, the mineral content of the water. So you're using ultra pure water, and it's actually the what is cleaning the glass is doing a proper scrub of the window. So you're agitating all the dirt that's already on the surface. That pure water is flowing through. So that's attracting that pure water is attracting that dirt that's on the surface, and then with an effective uh, proper rinse, you're rinsing away all that debris and dirt, and what's left behind is a spot free result when it's done perfectly. Um, Also, soap can, if you don't do the right ratio of soap, whether you're using Dawn or other professional soaps, you could leave behind a residue from the soap that will attract dirt quicker than when cleaned with pure water. Checking out over on Instagram, Daniel Coconut on Instagram is asking, is there any sale coming to the Ultimate Residential Kit anytime soon? So, perhaps you might have missed out. We'll mention this again. Head on over to our website at tuckerusa.com. Enter the coupon code at checkout. It's Tucker 2024, all one word, and they'll give you a 15% discount on. Well, let me check in with my moderator. Is that the case? That is right. Okay. So, and also any other of our great kits that we have on there. So check out our website there. Oh, one other topic that kind of goes over the why am I seeing spotting? Um, that kind of relates to that. And often is the issue is people that start off with water fed, they want to get into it at a lower cost. So to do that, they check out DI systems. So DI meaning deionization. So that's our single stage filter systems, um, and that is a great entryway of getting into water fed at a lower cost. Now, there are some trade-offs with that, and that is if you live in an area that is has high, you know, total, that total dissolved high mineral content in the water. It's areas like Texas, California, and other areas that have, ppm, parts per million of that total dissolved solids in the 3, 4, 5. We've even seen them, going up to 700s, and they start off with a DI only uh, system, and not realizing that, especially if you order, say, our smaller 30-inch DI cartridge, um, that will, your resin bead insides will absorb those minerals right away because you're at a high uh, uh, mineral content area, and effectively you have exhausted those resin beads, and you're going to get spotting. So that is typically the case where we get calls about, hey, I just got the system and it's not working, and we do a little investigation, and it's like we ask what your zip code is, so we can find out from the zip code your municipality's TDS content, and we'll see that you're in a high TDS area. So what will end up happening if you don't replace it, obviously you're just going to get worse water, a worse surface. It's going to be full of spots. So you want to make sure you're staying on top of the swapping out the resin, or take a look at our RODI systems. Reverse osmosis is there to really reduce your DI costs, and just over the long haul save you on resin cost, and make sure you have pure water for a long extended period. Well, look at that. It is already 6 o'clock Eastern time zone. So we'll be signing off here shortly. So just a recap of what, if you're just now signing in, what was our topic today? So our topic today of episode 6, why do I have water spots? Now we touched on filtration at the end, but mainly these are issues that you might have not known about, such as glass surface, whether it's hydrophobic glass. Perhaps you have issues with oxidation, or pre-existing conditions like hard water stains. Uh, just a reminder, you can, if you are tuning in late, you can check out these videos, episodes. They will be uh, up on our YouTube channel. That's Tucker USA. Facebook group page, our business page, excuse me, is RHG Tucker Pole Systems. Our group page is Tuckers/RHG Window and Solar Cleaning Groups. As a reminder, for the rest of the month, we are celebrating our new website, and you'll get a 15% discount when you use the code Tucker 2024. So certainly have enjoyed chatting with everyone. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and we look forward to seeing you on episode 7 of Waterfed Wednesday next week. Take care, guys.